If you want more Baltimore Ravens coverage, this is the channel for you. Little survey, folks. If you like what we're doing here on Ravens Today, then go ahead and like today's video. For the latest happenings in your favorite team, we got you covered. And the more likes we get, then potentially the more coverage we could bring you when it comes to watch parties, live shows, and more. Go ahead and hit that like button. We'll get started with today's show. We are talking about Rashod Bateman and his return from injury. Also, Roquan Smith had some thoughts on the Ravens defense. Mark Andrews says he has some unfinished business in 2023, and we have a new free agent signing to get to coming up on today's show. Let's start with Rashod Bateman. He is back. The Ravens announced that Bateman is returning from foot surgery, that he is back with the team and good to go. Now, let's go ahead and show you what the Ravens tweeted out, the official statement, this coming back on the 23rd, that Bateman had been reinstated and activated from the reserve/did not report list. And if you go back to Friday, he was placed on the reserve/did not report list, so that had some people raising some eyebrows at what was going on there. Now, he's not quite ready to practice yet, coming off that injury, but he is expected to return soon as Rashod Bateman enters his third year with the Baltimore Ravens. And expectations, you can imagine, are pretty high for Rashod Bateman after he's only played 18 games in the first two seasons. And so we've seen flashes. We've seen him play well at times, but now is put up or shut up time for Rashod Bateman. Look at these statistics we're talking about here. In 2021, 12 games played. Not bad. 515 yards, over 11 yards reception, 46 catches. That was all good. 2022, he was off to a decent start in those 6 games played with 15 catches, 285 yards, 19 yards of reception, 2 touchdowns. Things were going really good for Rashod Bateman. And then it all, of course, came crashing down with that injury that he suffered after the first 6 games. So for Rashod Bateman, glad to have him back, that he should be on the football field soon. Now, of course, you add into the mix, say, Flowers, OBJ, Nelson Aguilar. He's not going to have to do everything himself. I think Rashod Bateman should be set up to have a pretty decent season in Todd Monken's new offense as well. So what do you think about Rashod Bateman? Will he be the Ravens' top receiver in 2023? This is our pinned comment today. Weigh in, tell me what you think. Y for yes, in for no. Will Rashod Bateman be the top receiver for Baltimore this year? Let us know in the comment section below. Faces change, but expectations don't when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens, and that certainly is the case when it comes to Roquan Smith. Although he joined this team just halfway through last year, he was fantastic, and he looked the part of what we talk about of the great Ravens defensive players over the years. Roquan Smith is setting himself up to have a fantastic career with this organization. And heading into training camp, Roquan Smith stressed the confidence that he has, not just in himself, but this Ravens defense as a whole. Listen to this from Roquan Smith. I feel like the expectations are very high. I feel like if we play to our standard and everyone stays healthy, we're not weak in any spots, if you ask me. I like our D-line versus anyone. I like our secondary versus anyone, and I for sure like our linebackers versus anyone. When I look at it from that perspective, I feel like if we do our jobs and we give the ball back to Lamar and the offense, there's going to be a lot of great things that are going to happen. I do like what Roquan Smith is saying here. I think he's got the right mindset, the right idea. He's going to be a great leader and going to be a great Raven for a long time. Where he is slightly wrong, though, is although the Ravens' defense is good, it's not perfect. There's a glaring need at the edge rusher position. Now, we expect that Justin Houston is probably going to come back, or they could sign a number of players that are still available when it comes to that edge rusher spot. Yannick Ngakoue and others are still sitting out there. But really, that's the big thing that Baltimore still lacks. Otherwise, yes, there's reason to think that this Ravens defense can be very elite in 2023. Roquan Smith entering his second season with Baltimore, and he is a much richer man now than he was when he joined the Baltimore Ravens. He is now on a 5-year, $100 million extension, and that gave him the highest contract ever for an off-ball linebacker. So The Benjamins he received were plenty of them, coming off the best season of his career where he was a first-team All-Pro selection there with the Baltimore Ravens. And when you look at the numbers for Roquan Smith, you can see why the big fella got paid. 169 tackles last year. Nice. He had 11 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, 3 interceptions. Roquan Smith was great, and I think you're going to see him build upon that. His presence made Patrick Queen better. Patrick Queen obviously still around. Trenton Simpson coming in. This is going to be a really good linebacking core as far as I'm concerned. What is your confidence level in the Ravens defense? You heard Roquan Smith. He feels pretty high about this group. What say you? Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what your confidence level is. Scale it for me 1 through 10 and let me know. Ravens jerseys on sale now, whether it's Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. We'll talk about him in just a second. Maybe you want to throw back to a guy like Ray Lewis or somebody. We have plenty of options out there for some of your past and present Ravens, and coming in all different shapes and sizes and colors, whether it's the traditional purple home jersey, maybe you want to do a jersey like Zay Flowers, the star rookie, whatever it may be. We got plenty of options available, all in one place. You can get yours today at chatsports.com/RavensJersey to get your jersey for whatever player you want to wear, all in the same spot. Get yours now, right in time for football season. You order it now, you're going to have it in time for football season at chatsports.com/RavensJersey. You'll be glad you did. From one motivated player to another, that's where we find Ravens tight end Mark Andrews as he addressed his expectations heading into training camp for Baltimore and talked about unfinished business for this team after a disappointing ending to 2022. Remember, they were leading the division last year, had by, according to the metrics, the stat nerds, the easiest schedule remaining in the league for the last 5 games, and yet lost the division title and lost in that playoff game to the Cincinnati Bengals. Of course, Lamar went down, but you get the idea. What about this unfinished business that Mark Andrews is talking about? Here's more from Andrews heading into camp. We do have unfinished business, and it's time to roll. I'm excited to start training camp, get things going. I see the hunger with this group. You look at the roster, you see the talent on both sides of the ball. And Mark Andrews, he's coming off a season where he was a Pro Bowler, 3rd time in his career, and he didn't have a bad year by any stretch of the imagination. He was still one of the best tight ends in all football last year. But his numbers were still down from what they were in 2021 in receiving yards, receptions, touchdowns. All of it was down for him, comparably speaking, to what it was in 2021. And missing games, which is typically what we don't talk about with Mark Andrews. He's been very dependable over the years. So you can kind of sense why he feels the way he does. And here's something to think about as you look at Mark Andrews and you look at this tight end room heading into 2023. Not only just the fire and the energy that you love to see going from Mark Andrews, but I think what I'm watching for this group is that you are going to see them become the best tight end room in the entire National Football League. I think this group is going to take a big step. Not just Mark Andrews, who I think will be better than what he was last year, but Isaiah Likely had a solid rookie season. He showed some flashes. He has the ability to get downfield and be a receiving threat. And then Charlie Kolar, who missed most of last year, this is a guy, when he was coming out of Iowa State, the Norman High School product said the idea was that he looked like Mark Andrews well before he ever ended up in Baltimore. So if Charlie Kolar can turn into the second coming of Mark Andrews and you get 2 Mark Andrews on your team, in addition to a really good tight end and Isaiah Likely as well, watch out. We know that Todd Monken loves tight ends. We know the receiving core is going to be improved as well. You run that 12 personnel. Lamar is very good about getting the ball to those guys in the middle of the field. Watch out. I think this group is going to be a lot of fun to watch, and Mark Andrews leading the way. There's reasons why the expectations should be high for this group, why Mark Andrews feels the way he does. Name a breakout player for the Ravens this season. I'm telling you, Charlie Kolar is going to be that guy. But what do you guys think? Name a breakout player. Maybe it's Charlie Kolar. Maybe it's somebody else. Tell me in the comment section who you think that guy is for Baltimore in 2023. We are going to be talking about the Ravens all throughout training camp. Obviously, you had the veterans reporting today, and practices begin tomorrow and all that. We're going to have updates all throughout camp with the latest news updates from camp, any signings, trades that go on, injuries. We'll bring you videos as much as we can, as quick as we can here on the channel. So go ahead, do us all a favor, subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Turn on notifications so you have the latest news on your Baltimore Ravens. We'll have it covered for you right here on Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Subscribe now for free. One final note before we go. The Ravens did make a free agent signing within the last several hours, and that would be long snapper Tyler Ott, previously with the Seattle Seahawks, is joining the Ravens. And you may be saying to yourself, why did they make this move? Well, unfortunately, Nick Moore suffered a torn Achilles as he was prepping for training camp. And so, unfortunate for Nick Moore, it looks like he's done. So, who is Tyler Ott, in case you're wondering? Well, he is a product of Jinx, Oklahoma, was undrafted out of Harvard in 2014. He's been around the league, played for most recently with the Seattle Seahawks and the Cincinnati Bengals, the New York Giants. He was with the Rams in New England. He's been around for a couple different places. And I'll say this. I will never claim to be a long snapping expert, but I would think that it's probably a good thing when you've picked up a former Pro Bowl long snapper in this scenario that was unfortunate to lose Nick Moore in that way. Tyler Ott seems to be a pretty decent option, all things considered, at this point in time. Now, while I say I'm not an expert at the long snapper position, I will say this. His name is Tyler. He wore the number 69 in Seattle. What more could you want? To me, that sounds like a win-win. I don't know if he's going to wear 69 now. I hope so. So let's show some love and give a warm, friendly introduction to the flock, to Tyler Ott. Spam 69 in the comments section. Let's be nice to Tyler Ott, if you will. Great name, great number. It's a win-win. Welcome, number 69. Tyler Ott to Baltimore. Glad to have you with us, and best of luck to him going forward. Hit me up on social media, where we're going 69 miles an hour. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads as well, at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there. I'll see you next time right here on the Ravens Rundown.